Yo, all right. What's up, everybody? It is good to be back with you here, kicking off another week of broadcast here on 412 Productions. You guys know the drill, how we get this started. Jump into chat wherever you're watching. Say hello. We'll try to give as many of you a shout out as we can before we actually officially start the broadcast here at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. We'll start over on D Live in the mosh pit. I see Truth Teller. I see Lino Vincent, Q-Boys, Lucy Anders, Silbor. What's up, guys? Good to have you over there. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Liberty's Great Awakening and Spiky999 chilling on Rumble with our mod, Joe Elaine, keeping it nice and comfy. Thank you, Joe. Great to see you guys over there. Hit that thumbs up button on Rumble if you haven't already done so. And of course, shout out to all of our friends hanging out in the comfy bunker, pilled.net. I see many of our familiar names popping in already. If you haven't jumped in the chat over there yet, make sure you do that. And yeah, let's see who's hanging out with us today. Let's see. Floyd, due diligence in there first. Good to see you. Lance, Lightsphere, what's up, buddy? Good to see you too. Patriot 714 out there. Welcome, bud. Of course, Joe Elaine keeping the comfy bunker super comfy, modding over there as well. Thank you so much, Joe. HL Paco, good to see you out there as well. There's Floyd with a cookie. Thank you, Floyd. It says a margarita Monday cookie with the side of Wagyu steak. Absolutely delicious. I will take um all the Wagyu steak you want to throw my way. General Buford in the house. Good to see you. I saw a Truth Teller over here too, double dipping. Love to see it. R. Harold, Spiky999, also popping around a few different platforms today. We got Cali Patriot. Good to see Barb Robbins out there. Delia. Delia is working hard today down in Maricopa County, Arizona, helping them get set up for their elections. She'll be working the election tomorrow. It's a big shout out to Delia getting involved on the local level, making a difference. Fazic in the house, good to see you. Tweety 52, Roy Stones and Bones over on the West Coast, good to see you, my friend. Just build the wall before we all die. Yeah, I need to finish building the wall for sure. M the Painter says under the wire again. Cheers. Thank you for the can. Thank you for being here. DX, welcome. Namster, good to see you. And Silent One Forever checking in as well. Good to see you, my friends. Mad Joker, welcome. And we got Dizzy Rockin' One checking in from Manchester, UK. Welcome. Good to see all of our Patriots abroad. Love to see the reach of this show. Mr. Gerardo, good afternoon, sir. Hope you're having an awesome Monday so far. Lyle and Jenny, Packers 412, checking in as well. What's up, guys? Good to see you out there. Don Ritchie, thank you for the cookie. Much appreciated. Good to see you. Gonzo Rules and Liberty Bells. What's up, guys? Good to see all you out there. Snow Bunny 68, welcome. Awake Russell, good to see him. Mountain Lace in the house as well. Curious One, all right, there's Jenny, both popping in. Love it. Again, hope you and Lyle are both having an amazing day so far. Idaho Patriot 89 popping by. Cynthia, good to see you. CK Whitehorse 180, welcome and great to see you as well. We got Boys Blanc dropping the happy Monday cookie. Thank you for the cookie there, Boys Blanc. I hope you had a great weekend. Bassist Las Vegas out there. What's going on, bassist? Timar checking in. Good to see you, Timar. Welcome. Let's see. Is that it? Is that everybody? Oh man. What do I got? 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes to awkwardly stare at you guys. Yeah. I think I need to just start my intro or start everything a bit later because this keeps happening these days. It's good though. That means it means Drunk Pinata Show is doing really well. That's what that means. And I'm all for that. But I give myself a bit too much time to go through the names these days. So maybe we'll shorten that window a little bit. Dangleberry, good to see you, my friend. SYZGYRA. How do I Sizzy Gyra? I don't even know how to approach that one. Honestly. No me for you. Great to see you. Hope you're having an awesome start to your week. Yeah, Q High 17, Sergeant Peterson, welcome guys. Let me check around the interwebs here. 2020 MAGA says, hi, all. A little cold in the Berg today. 2020 MAGA, what's going on? What part of Pittsburgh are you coming to us from? Love seeing my 412 Patriots from Southwest from Western PA checking in. Good to see it. And then we got Nana Sally out there as well on Rumble. Good to see you. And they're not done getting angry at the videos on Pinata's channel. Yeah, he gets everyone all fired up and sends them my way. Outlaw Woman, welcome. D Patriot, say hi to D Lurker for us. Great to see you. Kaz 1012 in the house. Welcome, everybody. All right, well, I think I filibustered enough at this point. Seaside Lady, good to see you. Welcome. Hope you're having an awesome Monday so far. All right, well, I'm going to start the intro. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. We addicted to MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all. I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall. We're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong, stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adol Nero is the power that's controlling the flight. With all you patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system to the roles they're assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight. But I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America and punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, replacing with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only incentivized to start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess. They want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right, knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
All right, what's up, everybody? Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Happy Monday. We are kicking off the week with a fresh installment of Deplorable Discussions here on 412 Productions. My name is Adol Nero. It is March 18th, 2024, and we are just plowing forward through this year. Time is flying by. I can't believe We are about to hit the springtime officially. Very excited to be done with winter, the cold weather, and all that bullshit. Um, but man, is time flying by? But here we are, rocking and rolling. Looks like my man Tien Homesteader, my OG, jumping in with me here. What's up, Tien? How you doing?
Sorry, I wasn't quick to the unmute. Good, good. Just looking to the bloodbath.
This is more pathetic. We'll talk about the bloodbath thing,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
for sure.
I'm
But
sure it
yeah,
was going to be in your.
it's even more pathetic than the good people on both sides thing, isn't it? Like
Oh,
just
well, it died in less than 24 hours. So that's what it was so beautiful about it. It's like, and I know I don't want to spoil the cook because I know that I mean cooking the dish, right?
right, right.
'Cause we're going to go into it later. I got a couple of things to say about it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, how was your weekend, man? You have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was all right. We did Saturday night shenanigans last night because Pixels wasn't filling up to it, and he posted something asking if we were going to do the show, but I didn't see it until just a few minutes before the show, and he thought that was kind of like crossing wires. He didn't think we were going to do it. Blah 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 blah. So we did it last night. It turned out to be good. It was pretty good. But aside from that, though. We're getting, like you said, I mean, the trees are, the Bradford pears, my peaches are like crazy here. The blooms, right? And fortunately, I think I'm going to get a harvest this year because there's no frost in the forecast. So I'm good. I'm looking forward to my plums more than my peaches, honestly.
If you escaped it today, at least from what I could tell, it should be pretty clear sailing for the foreseeable future, at least up by me. And it's normally a bit warmer
Yeah.
by, but today by me, we're in the 30s, but it looks like we climb slowly but steadily into the 60s into next week. So, um,
The 30s aren't bad. It's when it gets to the 20s and it's wet because then that creates a frost or a freeze on the buds, and that's what nails it. But yeah, the Bradford pears, they're ornamentals. They're going crazy around here. It's like big old white pom poms.
nice,
Yeah,
nice. I'm sure it's quite a sight to see.
yeah,
Um,
yep.
Good stuff, man. Well, I'm glad you're here. Like I said, we've got a good bit of stuff to talk about. Not usually as busy a news day as most Mondays are. Normally Mondays I'm like overwhelmed with stuff to go over. Today I was like digging deep to find enough stuff, but I'm sure we'll survive. But let's go ahead. We'll take care of the sponsors. I don't know if Pinata's coming or what he's doing, so we'll just go ahead and move forward, and we'll see what he's up to if and when he pops in to the panel. Let's start with Earth Garden Botanicals. We love Earth Garden Botanicals up in Montana. Our friend Jolene runs this company. She's an herbalist and a health coach, a badass, a patriot, a genius. We absolutely love everything she does here. Her products are amazing. The white pineal extract is the newest of her line of products. It's a concentrate version of the sunshine and pine needle tea, meant to help you detoxify the body. Really good to have if you have any kind of like cold or virus. It really helps those recovery times, or at least in my experience, and from what I've heard, it's really really great for those situations. And then you have the CBD and hemp products. We love those, all organically grown, all the ingredients for them organically and locally grown on small Montana farms. I love the flavors of the CBD oil tinctures. My favorites are the huckleberry and the orange ginger bergamot. I really like the unflavored as well. They've got peppermint, cinnamon bliss, cherry, also all very good. You really can't go wrong. A little something for everybody there. Get the CBD oil for pets, for your furry friends, or get the Delta 8 R&R nighttime gummies to help you get a good night's sleep, help knock you right out. Arnica salve, a topical cream for your sore joints and muscles. You can get that with or without CBD oil infused into it. I like it with the CBD personally, but to each their own. And then we have elderberry tonic, really good for boosting your immune system. Fire cider, great for clearing your sinuses this time of year with the allergies. A lot of people have issues being all stuffed up and whatnot. A little sip of the fire cider will do you right. Check out the teas. I mentioned the sunshine and pine needle tea. If you're a tea drinker, there's a few other ones here to choose from as well. So go check those out. And then, of course, you've got your Critter Juice, the all-natural insect repellent. Probably my favorite product of all of them that Jolene makes, simply because it's the one that is, I think, most impacted my quality of life. I get absolutely destroyed by mosquitoes in the summer. I don't know what it is about me, but they find me and they absolutely love just tearing into me. The Critter Juice has been a game changer. It's so effective. What I like about it is it's not unpleasant. Like, it doesn't smell bad like a lot of the other brands do. It doesn't, you forget you're wearing it, except for the fact that you're not getting bit. It's a great product. I highly recommend you guys check it out. There's a version of it for you and one for your pets. You can see the one with the little paw up here, little Critter Juice for your pets as well. So go check out all these amazing products at earthgardenbotanicals.com. Promo code 412 gets you 10% off your order. So go take advantage. Go take advantage of that discount and load up a cart. Say hi to Jolene for us. She absolutely loves you guys. All right. And then also we have Integral Networks, integralnetworks.com. Integral Networks is a third-party IT provider. They're located up in the Northwest. They serve the entire United States. They're MAGA Americans, and they do a fantastic job helping businesses and organizations of all sizes save time, effort, and money on their IT systems. They help with cybersecurity, data backup and recovery. If you need help installing major networking devices like Cisco devices, they can help consult and walk you through that. That is not easy stuff to handle. They basically do everything you would expect a help desk to do without you having to build out that infrastructure by hiring the employees, having the office space, and all that you would need to actually have your own help desk. So they're a nice third party way of getting that stuff implemented without, like I said, building out that infrastructure. They also do the integral secure workspace, which is really cool. Basically, they build out a server for your company, or they have a server, a secure server. You set up virtual work environments, desktops for your employees to log in and use, rather than do their work on their local machine, giving you two major advantages. One, it gives you central control over applications and software. You can update them on behalf of your employees, so they never have to worry about dealing with any of that. You get to keep everybody on the same page with the tools they're using. And then also your data, your company data, can stay and live permanently on that server, not having to travel around on your employees' laptops or thumb drives or whatnot, making it much safer, So that's the major advantages there. Anyway, guys, Integral Networks, you can reach out to them at 916-545-7646 or go to integralnetworks.com. Let them know you heard about them here on 412 Productions. So big thank you to both of our sponsors today, both Earth Garden Botanicals and Integral Networks, longtime sponsors of the channel. Both of them have been with us for years, which is super cool and greatly appreciated. So make sure you guys go and check them out, show them all kind of love and support. It's a great way to support what we're doing here. Drunk Pinata popping in. Pinata, how's your Monday going so far, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic.
Doing fantastic. Good. How was your show today, man?
It was a lot of fun. It's pretty interesting seeing just how desperate the media is becoming, trying to protect or trying to just portray Trump as triple Hitler, and they're failing miserably.
Triple Hitler now. So who has double Hitler on the triple Hitler? How many Hitlers?
Well, it's unsustainable. I don't. There can't keep this up. At some point, you're going to have the people that are mindlessly consuming this turning back to the screen because they're listening to it in the background and go, what? And have to rewind that and then okay, the little like rewinding noise, and they hear it again and they go, what? And they go, that's not right. And I think we're getting pretty close. Here's one of those moments over the weekend that I once I heard this, I just cracked up laughing. So I'll share this with you guys. You guys will like this one.
Low. On top of that, many of these assets are also encumbered with mortgages. So it's not as if 100 cents on the dollar are going to go towards paying off that $500 million obligation.
Do you smell it? It smells like desperation. Donald Trump. Michael Cohen, thanks for being here. And
Yeah, Michael Cohen.
They're so giddy and happy with themselves.
Yeah, that's when the fall comes, you know.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's hilarious because they're just, as Pinata was saying, that they have these moments of glee, and then they're slammed like we're going to get into the bloodbath part of it, but it's the same thing. They have this moment of glee, and then it all collapses around them, and
Yeah,
it's
a lot of these
faster
cases,
and faster.
yeah, Tien, you're right. It is happening faster and faster to the point where I'm starting to hear language of there's nothing that can save us. We need divine intervention to save us from Trump. So what I'm seeing from this is that they know that Trump has the majority. They know that the polling is correct in this particular case. Like, you know, you can always say, well, polling, you know, that's iffy. There's some people pay for polls. But when you look at your methodology of trends, what are the, you know, especially with that one poll that you cite where they ask the same question, they ask the same questions, right, to the same people to kind of get a trend. That is not going away. So what you're seeing is that they're having to try to repel and pull people away from Trump as opposed to just get their positive message out there. They have to resort to full on, in this case, bloodbathing, not even mudslinging. It's just different material, different material altogether.
And that's why they're so easy to troll. And and again, I don't want to get ahead of it. So, well, let's just go to bloodbath. Come on, Fettel.
All right. Well, let me play the clip. Let me play the clip.
Okay.
In case anybody out there has been under a rock over the weekend. I mean, I barely had any time to pay attention to anything this weekend. And even I caught wind of this. So this has been the big thing right here. So here's Donald Trump at his rally speech. Take a listen.
Mexico has taken, over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it, went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. No, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But then.
All right, so there you go. When you have the full context around it, he's clearly talking about an economic bloodbath. He says, if I'm elected, I'm going to do these things, right? I'm going to make China pay 100% tariff. I'm going to protect American industry, American manufacturing, essentially. And then he says, if I'm not elected, you're going to have a bloodbath, meaning it's going to be an economic bloodbath. America will not be able to compete in this industry or many others when it comes to manufacturing and, you know, providing good jobs and just in general, you know, American companies will really struggle to compete and do business in America. So that's what he's saying. And of course, the mainstream media, you know, eliminates all the context around the words bloodbath. And all of a sudden, Triple Hitler is calling for violence. He is stoking the flames of political violence. You know, saying the quiet part out loud. I mean, it's just the take on all of this has been so over the top. I think back to good people on both sides. I said this earlier, and when we first started, I'll bring it
No,
up
this is
now.
definitely a Charlottesville hoax type thing. It is taking what he said out of context and then
This is
running with it.
I mean, the Charlottesville thing. I thought was honestly what really red pilled me completely into being a Trump supporter. It was a Charlottesville thing. Like when I saw how the media was so dishonest about his comments, I then realized like overnight, like how just corrupt and ridiculous the mainstream media really was. It was those press conferences after Charlottesville. And I thought that was like an absolute low point for the mainstream media, how they took those words and tried to turn them into something completely different to paint, this poor guy as a racist. I thought that was like, holy hell, like this is terrible. This isn't journalism. This is a lynch mob trying to destroy a man using the veneer of credibility in these giant newsrooms and their nice suits and their makeup people to convince people that this man is evil. That this is terrible. They immediately made Donald Trump, who I was pretty indifferent towards at that moment, a sympathetic character in this whole play in my mind. And I thought that even through all the other lies and all the other bullshit, I always looked at that as like one of the worst moments for the mainstream media was this good people on both sides, because everybody used it, from serious news shows to Stephen Colbert to even it lasted all the way up to the debate. You had Chris Wallace bringing up that quote during the debate as he's debating Donald Trump while Joe Biden stares off wistfully into the sky at the ceiling at the debate venue. Anyway, this is even worse. This is that times 10. This is that times 20. This one's even more obvious, more in your face.
Yeah,
like that first
because
one
it doesn't even involve any groups that are unsavory. It's not even like it involves any of these white supremacist groups or any of the
there was no event.
There's no event, there's no violence, there's nothing. It's literally just his comment of using a word.
That's
which in and of itself, if you go to the dictionary, says it involves economics. Like the word itself has a sub definition to refer to economic turmoil or a event of economic discourse.
Well,
outcome, right? That would be a better word.
Yeah. This is why I said, okay, so early this morning I posted a pondering if Trump had used that word in Ohio, intentionally trolling or serendipitously, right? Because it's a common term.
Mm-hmm.
But then today he posts a mashup of everybody on the left. The person that Pinata just showed the video of, not Cohen, but whomever she is, and Mad Cow, Joy Reid, the whole gambit of lefties on the glass, all of them saying bloodbath. All of them.
I have that clip here. Should we play
there
it?
you go. Go play it. So play it.
Yeah, let's play this. This one right here,
from
right?
Politico too. There's a Politico article that.
Yeah.
It was like from the day before. They said it was a bloodbath at the RNC because they fired a bunch of people.
Exactly.
Here you go. Here's the clip.
But
or did they? You know what? After what's happened here, they're probably going to claim that all those people were sent to gas chambers.
Yeah,
again, they have to get to Hitler. They have to get the trip of Hitler somehow.
Yep.
Reports tonight on the quote bloodbath at the RNC.
Headlines calling it a, quote, bloodbath.
Be a bloodbath. Not only is it going to be a bloodbath, but after they leave New Hampshire, it's a bloodbath on her home turf. That's really tough. Trump has left a lot of corpses in his wake. I mean, we can count the bodies.
As part of the, quote, MAGA drive to take over Maricopa County. And the headline refers to it as an impending bloodbath.
Columnist Charles Blow has a new piece for the New York Times entitled A Biden Bloodbath.
2018 midterms, you can bet that they 100% are fearing a slaughter. In fact, the word bloodbath bloodbath and massacre come up frequently.
The Republican Party will be destroyed. It's going to be a bloodbath.
There's going to be a bloodbath one way or the other.
Bloodbath for Bernie Sanders.
It's been a bloodbath. They're shaping up to be a bloodbath.
Head off a bloodbath in next year's crucial midterm.
Off-year elections are often a bloodbath.
This week's bloodbath for Democrats, a bloodbath at the ballot box.
There could be a Republican bloodbath.
They'll talk about a bloodbath.
It's a bloodbath. I have to talk about you. And
It's going to be a bloodbath all day long.
Is in for a bloodbath.
Hasn't been a bloodbath on the way down.
Donald Trump bloodbath. Be a bloodbath.
Predicted to be a bloodbath.
May not be the bloodbath.
It would be a bloodbath.
More of a bloodbath.
It's going to be a bloodbath in November.
Possible Biden bloodbath this November.
A bloodbath on Wall Street.
There's going to be a bloodbath
In Alabama into a bloodbath.
Obviously, there was a bloodbath. It was a bloodbath. We're down 800 points.
This bloodbath at Department of Homeland Security.
and it's a bloodbath today.
There was going to be this bloodbath.
Election bloodbath.
It could be a bloodbath for them.
Bloodbath, possibly.
Bloodbath that went through with the Attorney General.
Bloodbath 99 days out. The bloodbath is going to look like
Presided over a bloodbath in the diplomatic corps.
Absolute, in my opinion, bloodbath. The Democrats are
Calling it ticket sales turned into a bloodbath.
ticket sales for singer Taylor Swift's latest tour.
It's safe to say the fans had a bloodbath for the company after.
Well done, Gravian. Well done. I mean, come on. That's
He posted that today, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I said this morning I pondered if he used it intentionally or was it serendipitous, right? The results. This morning after he posted that, I was like, okay, there's no doubt. It was intentional. He trolled them like crazy. He used that word. And I know it may sound like, okay, I'm reading too much into it, but he is good at this.
It had been a couple. So what? The past few rallies, he didn't do the January 6th choir thing.
Correct.
And then he did that, and then they roll this. I can see how that was intentional because we even had it triggered all the right people.
Yeah. And they all go berserk, and the one that was really hilarious is one guy posts the video clip of what he said, not the entire thing, but enough, right? That was not out of context. And then he puts the text around it in his tweet out of context. And then Hillary Clinton retweets it and says, I wonder what you would think, or retweets it. I wonder what people out of the country think about the use of the word bloodbath. And it's like, and my comment was, okay, here she comes to the party, late and it's over.
Yeah, I saw that too, T, and I'm like she realizes this was all debunked yesterday, right? Like the whole thing, but they're still running with this afternoon. I mean,
Right.
you got to look at, you want to see the most over the top reaction I've seen so far. Here you go.
Says that all this, he was just talking about the car business. Because I can tell you this, the Ryan Grimms out there and the rest of the people who are so desperate to have Joe Biden be terrible that they must balance between the terribleness of Donald Trump and whatever misgivings they have about Joe Biden. Stop it. You're normalizing violent rhetoric. You're normalizing another January 6th, another insurrection. And I'll wash my hands of it because I didn't have anything to do with it. We witnessed Donald Trump do the same thing he's done here. Because defenders of Donald Trump, whether they be leftists or whether they be MAGA faithful, will say, no, you're just taking it out of context. Did we also take it out of context all the other times he's acted violently and talked violently?
Give me one example. Both you guys. I couldn't think of one when he acted violently or talked violently.
He never acted violently, and the only time you could say that he came close to making a violent statement is when he this is in 2016 when he turned around and he says, I can go out there in the middle of Fifth Street and shoot somebody and they won't care. That's about as close as he got.
I mean, the only other one they fall back on, TN, outside of that one is one of the rallies. He says, you go ahead and you can rough him up.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll pay for your legal bills.
Right.
Outside of that, never repeated, was not a common thing for them. They just basically would say, let's go ahead and get the protesters out of here, go back to mommy, that kind of thing, the sound bites.
Right.
And so that's about it. So there's no real part of that. So, but look at the false equivalence here. Let me play about 20 seconds and then we'll be done with this one.
Well, he said peacefully and patriotically. He said that. He's also said all kinds of other things about terminating all articles and regulations up to and including the Constitution. Oh, no, you're taking that out of context.
Yes, you are.
You are.
Exactly.
So what's up with the overturning the regulations?
So about everything I saw over the weekend on my shows was them literally taking everything out of context, and they would revisit all the types of things he was just talking about with I'm going to terminate the Constitution. Never said it. There was in context. That's not what he meant. He says, if we're not going to follow the Constitution, we might as well not have it. That's what he said. And it was about elections. It was about state legislatures, and it's in full context. The Milley thing also within full context. All this stuff has context, obviously, but these people can't be bothered. Or they know it and they're just,
And that's what cracks me up, because even when I looked at the comments on that one tweet, even when the video says contrary to what the person put in text, the comments are still in alignment with the text. So it's either they don't watch the video or they're just they just do what they're told. Because, it's a crack up. And more than likely, well, I shouldn't say more than likely. It's likely that some don't even watch the video because it's Trump. And they just go by what they're told it says, right? But it just cracks me up because this one, it was like almost instantaneous that it died, that their narrative was transparent to no end.
Yeah, well, Hillary Clinton asked what other countries thought of us. Well, here's Australia making fun of us.
The media are a little fired up about a speech that Donald Trump made on the weekend.
This was not some meandering off-message comment. Trump's allusion.
Well, here, I'll spare us the clips. We've already seen the clips. Let's see what they say.
Said, in fact, if you have a listen to everything he said before and everything he said after Bloodbath, he's talking about cars.
So there you go. Around the world, we have a laughing stock.
Yeah, it's so pathetic. Here. I don't know if you guys saw this one from Joe and Mika. Take a listen.
I was looking for this. I didn't see it because I had there was different parts of it because I didn't get to this early today. So I'm glad you're playing this one. I haven't seen this. I was looking for it, but I just got to them opining about how they kept showing the same clip of January 6th about that one entrance and saying, "Oh my God, look at all the footage! Look at this footage!" It's like, yeah, that was at the very tail end of it. If you don't really understand, I know they don't understand. The whole time that they're showing that B-roll footage, almost all the B-roll footage that you've seen on MSNBC and CNN for this entirety since the event happened in the last 20 minutes of everything.
Yep.
The whole 2 hours. That was the last 20 minutes, and that was something that was kind of profound that I found out. And when a lot more of this other footage was released, we got a little bit more of a timeline of when these different things were happening. So anyway, continue.
Yeah. So here's Morning Mika and Joe talking about the bloodbath comments. Listen to the unhinged, this unhinged psychopath Joe Scarborough. He's out of his fucking mind.
He's talking about a bloodbath for America. It's laid out in the terms of it. And these idiots on Twitter, these idiots on cable news, these idiots on Sunday shows going, well, presidents, he was talking only about the auto industry, and this is one more. It's just bullshit. Let me say that at 6:15 a.m. It's just bullshit. He knew what he was doing. We're not stupid. Americans aren't stupid. He was talking about a bloodbath. Sometimes a bloodbath means a bloodbath. And when he finishes by saying, and that's just going to be the least of it, seriously, these people may be stupid. We're not.
It's so
really.
And it's
notice how he couldn't enumerate what the bloodbath reference was about. And I don't mean the real one. Even his interpretation of it, let's say, to be kind, he couldn't enumerate what it meant because it's so out of context that he can't say what he thinks it meant. A bloodbath for America, like what? Civil War? Even that. I'm not putting words in his mouth. I'm just saying he couldn't even come to the point where we're saying, because it was deemed an economic, because once the auto industry dies, who's going to afford buying these cars? These EVs and all of that kind of stuff? The whole economic collapse begins, not just because of the cars, what that means in general. And that's what Trump was saying, right?
There's a good point, Tien, it's not just with Joe. I mean, I think a lot of these clips you're seeing of these people flipping out, they claim that it's so like offensive or what's the word I'm looking for? Like inciting of violence.
Yes.
They don't really give you explain to you why or how or what he's actually saying. Right. They just like bloodbath. That sounds violent,
Emote, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's spot on. It's spot on with what they're doing. It's pathetic. And again, this one is so bad. I mean, if you watch, it's a 45-second clip, and there's really there's no other way to interpret it other than he's talking about.
It begins and ends with the word car. It literally ends with him saying cars.
Yeah. And even his that's only the beginning of it. He's talking about the auto industry being the beginning of it, and there's the rest of the economy to talk about. He was focusing his comments on one industry, but then he was finishing up saying basically, and it's not just cars, it's going to be all industries in this country are going to struggle. This is crazy. Like the way that they're taking this out of context. This is, again, a low point, another new low point in the mainstream media. So desperate for that got you moment, that got you clip, that got you soundbite. They want another Hollywood Access type moment, tape type moment so desperately that they are just scraping the bottom of the barrel for anything they can find. And this is pathetic.
That's the desperation. That's the absolute indication of desperation, and that's why they're so easy to troll. That's why I made that comment that I did. Not to repeat, but it was like yesterday when he said it. It was more of, did he do that on purpose or not? But today, see how they used it. Yep, totally on purpose. Totally on purpose. It's lovely to watch because they can't help it. They just can't help it. Like you said, they're so desperate and they're so tedious. Harley Quinn actually said that Joe was having he was having his cycle. That's the bloodbath. That's not the words that was used, but hey, that's okay. I was laughing my ass off today, just looking at all this stuff.
I can't believe they keep taking the bait, honestly. If that is, and they keep taking it, like that's, again, you're right.
I think we're at a point in time where we are extra dimensional to where they are in their thinking. So in the same way, you're standing over an anthill. Those ants have no fucking clue you're looking at them and observing them, right? They might see, their pheromones or whatever, the smells or whatever. They might see that. They don't have any clue of what's really above them, what's really observing them. And I feel like we're seeing that here. They're still operating under the assumption that they have control of the consciousness of the narrative matrix that I have nicknamed it. They think that so this is why they keep doing what they're doing, because they don't know anything else. They're just basic consciousness. It's like they are operating in a different paradigm that all of us have already escaped. It is so primitive of what they're doing that they don't even I think they don't even realize it. And I think this is why we continue to wonder, are they playing into this? Do they think that we're do they really buy it, or are they just useful idiots? Like where do they fall? And I think maybe I've spent too much time wasted on trying to determine whether or not their actual the level of awareness that they have of their nefarious nature of what they're doing, and just understand that maybe they all understand that what they're doing is nefarious. They just think that they're that smart that they think that they're fooling everybody.
He just said it. Scarborough said it flat out, because he says that, he called everybody but themselves stupid.
Yeah, it's arrogance. I guess this is hubris and arrogance to the hilt.
Yeah, and they're constantly in a state of emotion, and Trump seems to be able to, not only by his persona, which is, alpha male, and that's totally congruous to their beta attitude, but he knows how to tweak them. It's just little things like this, right? I don't know. It's just funny to watch, and it gets worse and worse for them.
It is funny to watch, and I think when you mention the desperation, it's 100% what it is. They're so desperate to try to steer people away from Trump and convince you that he's a threat to your safety and societal norms and all that they know they can't beat him with ideas. They know they have to basically try to ruin his name through this bullshit. So the lawfare is not working. Obviously their ideas are terrible, their policies suck and produce no positive results, so they can't debate or persuade people on that front. So then it comes down to a name calling competition with Donald Trump, trying to basically insult him out of the race or smear his name, try to project him, or portray him rather, I think would be the better word, as a racist or a xenophobe or a politically violent person, a dictator, Hitler, triple Hitler, as Pinata coined. And it's just it's not working. People, it's so tired. They've been trying to do this since 2015, and the messaging is wearing thin. And rather than change up the strategy or try to be more creative or slick about it, they're just getting louder and more obnoxious with it. They're
actually, Adel, they're complaining.
Instead of just saying it, they're insulting their viewers at the same time. Like we just saw, 1 second, ping up. They just saw with Scarborough. You're stupid. You're stupid if you believe something different than what I'm telling you right now. That makes you stupid. Like that, they're trying to shame the public into seeing their way at this point, because just simply putting out their point of view isn't working. The name calling isn't working. Nothing's working. So now they're straight up telling their audience, you're stupid if you think differently than us. And see how that far that gets them. Good, Pinata.
It's the sky is falling. It's Chicken Little. It's the boy who cried wolf. They're complaining to their own audience that this has been normalized. I'm like, well, you were normalizing all this. They're like, can you believe that Donald Trump is making his legal woes the focus of his campaign? You made it the focus of his campaign by doing all this bogus shit. It's they're starting to say, hey, that thing that we caused? Well, we need you to not believe that anymore. It's like they're having to try to plead to their own ignorant masses to stop believing the things that we told you. We need you to take it seriously. No, this time we're serious. No, this time. No, seriously. This time, the existential crisis that we constantly project to keep you in a state of fear is totally real and not at all political. And then what do? They do something with this bloodbath thing, and then people are like, "Oh, okay." It's like, how can you take people seriously? At some point, I'm telling you, it is not sustainable. And I was musing during my show. I'm like, the path that if you watched my show from the beginning until now, it might be interesting to go back and audit a few different things and go back and say, okay, what were they talking about this thing? Like, how crazy was it? It might be a good show idea at some point to go through that. But I continually am amazed at how crazy and completely unhinged they're willing to go outside of the realm of reality.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's only gonna get worse too. I
Which
look forward.
is not a sign. It's not a sign of winning, is it?
No, no, because if you're winning, Tien, right, you don't need to
No.
go to this hyperbolic space of
No.
everything's COM3, Hitler, dictator, end of democracy. Like you could frame things in a way that doesn't sound so absurd to most of the country. Like when they say these things, to me it sounds like they're desperately trying to hold on to the TDS people. They're not trying to win over new people. I think they have to know that
Yep.
like the moderate people, like they listen to that and roll their eyes. I think
They're
more
yeah, so
so.
they're trying to disillusion people that are to Trump and essentially to being apathetic so that they don't vote. And then they're also trying to retain whoever they can possibly by just saying, look how bad this is over there. You don't want to be associated. Guilt by association is all they have left.
Yeah, I think they're really destroying their credibility in an attempt to hang on to the far left, to keep the far left over to the far left through these fear tactics, because they know most of those people are mentally ill and susceptible to it at this point. So that's what I see anyway. That's my take on why they're acting the way they're acting. Is they know they've lost the middle. They know that much of the middle doesn't even believe that they're real news or has anything legitimate to say anymore. Now it's about keeping that far left intact, at least, because I think they feel like if they can keep the far left and then they can cheat their way through the middle and make things competitive, through the mail-in votes and whatnot. But you could see them losing even a lot of the left too. Like we're gonna go over a poll here in a second that TN showed. They're losing a lot of demographics that they're used to having complete and total control over, and the panic is very real. Might as well bring that up now. That poll. And this is Nate Silver, who he's like a mainstream guy. Like he's not a typically a friendly to the MAGA movement person. I think Trump trued this. TN put this in our group chat. Democrats are hemorrhaging support with voters of color. Earlier this week, John Byrne Murdoch of the Financial Times posted a thread that purported to show substantial losses for Democrats among non-white voters, which he termed a racial realignment. If you're an election data junkie, you've probably seen it. It's been viewed more than 7 million times on Twitter. Here's the graphic that kicked it off. And here's American politics is going through a racial realignment with non-voters shifting away from Democrats towards Republicans. And here you can see the two trends crossing. Republicans heading up, Democrats heading down. Especially over the last 8 years, you really see this trend take off. And what happened roughly 8 years ago? The Great Awakening kicking off. Donald Trump coming down the escalator, announcing his run for president, which shook up the entire political world. It was it forced the mainstream media to show their true colors. It forced the far left and the Marxist, communist forces in our country to expose their long-term plans to really, remove the veneer from view and really allow people to see what they're really up to. And you could see how the trends have really taken off in that direction since then. It is worth reading the whole thread. There's not a lot of data, and Byrne and Murdoch notes that the problems are particularly bad for Democrats among working class voters of color and younger ones. Many Black, Hispanic, and Asian voters have long identified as moderate or conservative rather than liberal. And Byrne Murdoch theorizes that Democrats tilt toward more liberal policies, though I prefer to call them left or progressive rather than liberal, is catching up with them, especially as memory of the civil rights era fades. The thread triggered its share of responses from the usual suspects. Part of the recent pattern of poll denialism among Democrats is that they crept its way into even the White House. And it's true that there are some things you could critique Burn Murdoch is mixing and matching data from different polls, and the observation from 2024 is based solely on the recent New York Times Siena College poll, which has a relatively small sample size. I'd rather he had taken an average of different surveys. If he had done that, though, he'd likely have found the same thing. As you know, I'm not much of a fan of digging into poll crosstabs because of the small sample size and difficulties in reaching certain underrepresented groups. You can always find something wrong with them and use this to dismiss polling results you don't like. However, the Adam Carlson has been performing an invaluable service by aggregating the results of different polls together, which at least solves a sample size problem. And he's finding that Joe Biden's share of the vote has dropped dramatically among Black and Hispanic voters as compared with an average reliable estimates of the 2020 vote. As you can see, Biden's margin against Donald Trump has basically not moved an inch among white voters. He's losing them by 12 percentage points as he did in 2020. However, Biden is now only winning Hispanics by 7 percentage points, down from 24 points in 2020. That's massive. And Black voters by only 55 points as compared with 83 points in 2020. I'm not going to cover every possible difficulty when surveying non-white voters who generally have lower response rates to polls than white voters do. I'm just saying this has been a consistent pattern. Carlson has been doing the same analysis for months now, and he's been finding the same thing every time. So at the very least, Democrats can wish this problem away, but by complaining about small sample sizes, although that doesn't mean they won't try. But polls, schmolls, it's really plausible that there could be swings in this large when it comes to actual votes. Sure, it's at least plausible. Let's look at the data from two places where non-white voters are plentiful. One is somewhere I've never been to, Starr County in South Texas. Another is a place where I live, New York City. Starr County is 98% Hispanic. The most any county in the country outside of Puerto Rico, which makes it uniquely valuable data point. There's no possible problems with ecological inference. Misconstruing the behavior of individuals or particular subgroups from aggregate data when basically everyone there is Hispanic. Starr County is also quite poor in the Rio Grande Valley, along with the Mexican border. So it's a particularly good place to look for patterns among working
I was wondering
class.
if that was the one I was thinking of. That's the one where you had what was her name? She won an election was it for state government, or was it for an actual congressional seat? Who was that? There was somebody.
I think it was a congressional seat. I don't remember the name. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. And what's happening there ought to be frightening to Democrats. Here are the presidential election results in Starr County from 2008 to 2020. And you can see the Republicans down very, very low in votes, just above 2,000, have skyrocketed to over 8,000, whereas Democrats have dropped from 10,000 down to, I don't know, it looks like about 80 or 9,000 or so. So the gap is closing tremendously. I've charted these as the total number of votes rather than just the vote margin, because that's what really tells the story. Biden received about as many votes in Starr County as Hillary Clinton did in 2016, or as Barack Obama did in 2008 or 2012. But Trump surged from receiving 2,218 votes in 2016 to 8,247 votes, almost 4 times as many in 2020. I've rarely seen anything like that, especially in the contemporary American political landscape, where partisan preferences tend to be relatively stable. Turnout was much higher in Starr County in 2020, but those new votes came out overwhelmingly for Trump, contradicting the longstanding belief that Democrats benefit from higher turnout among minority groups. The shift of the Hispanic vote in South Texas has undermined Democrats' dreams of turning Texas blue, or at least purple, offsetting gains that Democrats have made in the Houston, Dallas, and Austin metro areas. So there you go in Texas. Let's jump here because we have to jump over to PILT. I want to get through this. Another place to find heavy concentration of non-white voters is New York City. And here are the results in presidential and gubernatorial elections since 2012 in the 5 boroughs, as well as the 3 innermost suburban counties: Westchester County, north of New York City on the mainland, Nassau and Suffolk counties on Long Island. The story here is somewhat more nuanced. Andrew Cuomo, the Democrats' gubernatorial nominee in 2014-18, was relatively popular in Long Island and in Staten Island, whereas a Republican gubernatorial nominee in 2022, Lee Zeldin, represented Eastern Long Island, mostly Suffolk County, in Congress. But still, there are trends that are ominous for Democrats. In the Bronx, where less than 10% of the population is non-Hispanic or white, non-Hispanic white, Democrats went from winning the presidential race by 83 points in 2012 to winning the gubernatorial race by only 55 points in 2022, a 28-point swing. And there was a 29-point swing against Democrats in Queens, which is just 26% non-Hispanic white. Between 2012 and 2022, Democrats' results have been steadier and wealthier, although still relatively diverse. Manhattan, conversely, in well-to-do Westchester County. Nationwide, trends aren't this dramatic, although you see some of the same pattern. Modeling from Catalyst, a Democratic firm, found that Democrats went from getting 97% of the two-party black vote, that is the vote excluding third parties, in 2012 to 90% in 2020, and they've dropped from 70% of the Hispanic vote to 63% over the same period. Democrats' share of the Asian American vote had been steadier by comparison, but then it fell substantially in the 2022 midterms as compared with 2020, according to a Catalyst analyst. It's worth pointing out that black voters overall are still heavily Democratic, but going from 97% of the vote to 90%, not to mention 80%, as more recent polls have found. It's an enormous problem for the party. Democrats have become increasingly dependent on the votes of college graduates, but college grads are the minority. About 40% of people aged 25 and older have a bachelor's degree or higher, and the share is no longer really increasing as the number of Americans attending college is leveling off, particularly among men. Without winning huge majorities of black voters and solid majorities of Hispanic voters and Asian Americans, Democrats' electoral math doesn't add up to a majority unless you have dirty voter rolls and no excuse mail-in balloting as the norm, in which case it doesn't matter. The invisible people, the fake people, that's the dead people, the out-of-state people, the underage people will fill the gap. Anyway, they are losing grip of their high propensity, the people they could really count on to carry the water for their party. They're losing grip on those demographics. It is the Great Awakening. And you even saw while I was reading that, the more modest changes, they're only talking about numbers going into 2020. I feel like over the past 4 years, especially the last 12 months, as this immigration issue has really alienated and affected the black communities in places like Chicago, New York, and around the country, that as you continue taking these polls, you're going to see a lot more fallout from the black and minority communities. So you got to love to see it, the self-destruction of the Democrat Party, their race-baiting policies and rhetoric, all paying no dividends going into 2024. And like I said, we're still in March. We got a lot more time to see a lot more people walk, if not even sprint away from the Democrat plantation. So I think the future is bright for the America First movement and Donald Trump's chances of retaking the White House in 2024. All right. We'll talk about this article more on the other side. I want Tien's thoughts, since he's the one that kind of brought to my attention. Pinata, if you got anything too, we'll let you guys sound off on this on the other side. I've got a clip that I want to play from Stephen A. Smith, the ESPN talking head, who is a big lefty. He had a little clip that I watched earlier today that I thought was worth playing because, again, they're losing a lot of their mouthpieces out there. They're starting to get criticism from a lot of people that used to just kind of go along with the narrative. So I want to cover that, and then we'll get into a bunch of other things and updates I've got as well. But for now, it is time to go exclusively to pilled.net. I've got a link to the stream in the Rumble description down below, the Rumble stream. I'm also dropping it right now into the D Live and Rumble live chats for you guys. So please jump on over to pill.net and continue watching with us in the second hour. I'm going to play a little video. We'll come back on the other side. We'll officially say goodbye to our other platforms. We'll read your gold pills. So if you guys want to toss any gold pills in the bucket, get any gold pill chats read, now's a great time to do that. And then we'll continue on with the second half of the show. We'll be right back, everybody.
Pill.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pill.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family, and if you have any questions at all, please email support@pill.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on Pill.net. Free speech lives here.
All right, we are back. And again, big thank you to everyone who did jump over to pill.net. That's going to keep hanging out with us for the rest of the show. Those of you that aren't going to jump over, no worries. I appreciate your viewership in the first hour. And we'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time for a little Taco Tuesday. Take your calls, play a little bit of music, and have a fun little chat on our Tuesday show. And I think this Wednesday, let me just look at my calendar and confirm. Yeah, I think on the 20th, on Wednesday, we'll have Craig Mason of Reasonable TV joining the show. So that'll be fun. He usually does the second half, but we'll have to see what his availability is on Wednesday. So yeah, please come on over to pill.net. Again, those links are in the Rumble description, in the chat as well. Otherwise, this is where we say goodbye. So have a great day if you're not coming over. And those of you that are, we'll see you on the other side on pill.net.